Hold on. Go ahead. Michelle, introduce yourself to the people. Wait a minute. Now she went out. Oh no. Go
No,
ahead.
sorry. I was checking my own settings to make sure it wasn't me.
No, no, no. We can hear you. It's just the people couldn't hear you, and it was Tony's fault. He's here today. He's
Oh,
running.
not
He's running the show. It's his
hi,
fault.
Tony.
So go ahead. Please continue. I
Well,
was just saying, it's an
okay.
education for us all because we don't know anything about what's going on there. So please go ahead, Michelle. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm Michelle Smith. I've lived and worked in Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo for 8 years. I've been traveling here for 10 years, and it's a complicated situation. It's basically a 30-year war zone, and so there's plenty of work to do. I run a few different projects that are mostly centered around education and transforming communities. And I also work with an organization that rehabilitates former child soldiers. And so there's a lot of work to be done here because it is an embedded war zone. And we have about 150 rebel groups or militia groups that are wandering around just in our province, which would be like a state in the US. And just last night, I saw video footage where the UN is moving in even more equipment and artillery. So this is escalating by the day. But the war is primarily over the minerals that are necessary to produce technology. And so us even being able to do what we're doing right now is dependent upon Congo. We have the majority of those minerals, and all the corporations and countries around the world, they want those minerals at the cheapest price possible. And so it is to everyone's advantage except Congo that we have instability here.
Right.
Um, that's it in a nutshell.
Right. Yeah. No. And well, I was thinking today because we've got Ukraine and they're getting aid. We've got Gaza's getting aid, and you say the UN is sending in aid now there, but it's not aid. It's
It's not
military.
aid. It's
It's military
military.
supplies.
Now, to be clear, every UN humanitarian organization that exists is also here, and they do really a lot of work. Every nonprofit organization from around the world is here doing huge projects. This is one of there's a few places around the world that you're kind of guaranteed work in the humanitarian sector. Congo is one of them,
Mm-hmm.
specifically where I am in Congo. Haiti is another one.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of them kind of fluctuate. That they're not always bad. Syria's not always bad. Yemen's not always bad. And so, but Haiti and Goma tend to be on the list of, if you can't find a job in a country that you want, you can always find a job in Congo or Haiti.
Right.
And so it's because we've been here for so long, just in utter instability. And it does affect the U.S. and it affects Americans. It affects policy. All of those things get affected by what happens here. It affects the budget of the U.S. to be supporting these things. They send $61 billion to Ukraine, but it's very, very unknown what they're going to send here. The most recent announcement from the U.S. government about Congo was they may lift some of the sanctions against Congolese, but that doesn't really equal funding or support, especially since most of these Congolese that have sanctions against them are pretty bad actors
Right.
and they kind of deserve the sanctions. A lot of them are war criminals, have violated human rights. And so, in no way or shape am I saying that everyone on the Congo side is a reputable good guy, because I don't believe there are actually a lot of good guys in war.
Yeah.
Most of them are a lot of bad actors taking advantage of instability around the world. Um, The average person that's out on the out in the field actually fighting the war is not who's actually controlling the war.
Right.
And so,
It's and pretty much, you said you had a new president there, and if there's he could become a dictator if there's no elections, right? So you're kind of
right.
it's like if Donald Trump got reelected here in the States, we don't know he's going to go for a lifetime presidency, like we kind of he's already said it. So I really don't have any doubt that he's going to do it. But that's where you're kind of hanging in the balance there with your president. Am I correct about that?
Right. So the president that was just recently reelected for his second term, they're only allowed to hold 2 terms, 6 years each. And so we will find out in a few years whether or not he'll actually hold elections or cancel them or change the Constitution to allow him to stay in office longer. That's very popular here in Africa. Paul Kagame is going on 27 years, and a couple of years ago he had the population vote on an amendment to the Constitution that allowed him to stay in office for life. And of course there was like 99% voter turnout. Those are things that are very common here, and in my opinion, it is really important that people that live in democracies that protect their rights and protect their voting rights, that they really understand that those can be taken away very quickly and very easily.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention not only what's going on in your own local politics and state politics and your federal government, but also around the world,
Right.
because world leaders watch other world leaders and they take notes and they realize, well, no one did anything about this, therefore I can get away with it. And that leads up to fascism and dictatorship around the world.
Well, and we have it creeping all over the place, like all over Europe and in South America and in Africa, all over. There's a bunch, like you said, the country the little tiny country next to you, there's a total like radical dictator, and
Yeah.
but on the other side, it's like, oh no, we're democracy and everything, and it's not cool. There's like nothing's cool over there. Yeah,
let me give you a hint. Let me give you a hint about the way that countries name themselves. Any country that's calling itself the democratic something is generally not very democratic.
Right.
North Korea's actual name has democratic somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Most of the like brutal, dictators around the world, they love to throw that around, like they're not forcing people to vote a certain way, or that the ballot only has one name on it.
Right. Yeah.
So saying that the population votes is all that is required for it to be a democracy.
And who knows the fuckery behind all of the elections there and around the world, like Putin, keep winning and da da da. Oh, he's got an outrageous number, like 90% of the vote. Give me a fucking break. Nobody likes him. Look at Benny.
He's such a fucking, it's not even an election.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's Ivan, you lose, you die, take the window.
Take the window.
I'm waiting patiently for the Russian people to say, this is fucked up.
They're about to reach 500,000 dead because of the Ukrainian war. Yeah.
I know. And, this kind of evil difficult. Can't stand, and people have to stand up to it. If people don't stand up to evil, then evil prevails. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the things I've learned about by living overseas and not being completely immersed in American culture all the time is that different people groups have different cultures. And the Russian people have a culture of dealing with bad leaders. unfortunately. And they are some very patient people. They tend to just like want to wait everything out and just, eventually he'll die type of attitude, when actually, it is, it's almost necessary that they would have more of the American rebellious um, attitude towards their politics sometimes. But it is a sad reflection. But historically, um, Russia does have a reason for being paranoid, and they are a paranoid country. But if you look back in their history, there's some reasons for that. They also have a very long history of leaders that make bad decisions. So,
yes, listen, Russia needs to get their shit together. That's what. And the sooner that happens, the better it is for all humanity. So, how do we reach out to Russian people? How do they hear about what democracy is and how it's good for everybody, as opposed to a dictator who has everything and very little for the people?
Yeah, Benny, you're kind of low in volume. And you know what I was going to say is that it's like what Michelle was saying the last time we were together. Russian people are like damaged. They have been going through a lot of propaganda and like their economy is for shit. They have no jobs. All they do is like smoke cigarettes and drink vodka. And you know what I mean? Like that's I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they do. And I don't know where all their news is state media news, and so they don't know what's really going on. And in Africa, because it's a 30-year war, or I'm sorry, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, let's just call it the DRC, that it's a collective trauma of 30 years of war. And when you have grown up and you put a machine gun in a 7-year-old's hands and they're now 27, they're lucky to be 27. They make it to 27. So it's, that's it. We were talking about collective trauma before, and I feel like that's happened in Russia. It's happening to Ukrainians right now. It's happening to Americans with Donald Trump. It's happening there in the Congo with your dictators and all the fuckery from around the world coming there. You've got China, Iran, Russia, the States, any person you could think of with their fingers in the economy there just for natural resources, for lithium batteries and stuff like that.
What? And the uranium. So that's primarily by Iran, North Korea, Russia, China. They want the minerals, but they're really interested in the uranium.
They really want that uranium. Of course they do. Yeah. I'm sick and fucking tired of being on a planet where the few that have the most are maniacal motherfuckers. There's so many more of us than them. Why are we allowing this to continue?
Because they're in power and we're not.
It would be so easy to rectify the situation, because of the imbalance of us and them.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've lost our protesting. I don't know if we're just exhausted or what the fuck it is, but we're going to have that women's strike on June 24th, and hopefully that'll make a dent and people, and hopefully it'll go around the world, like just like the Women's March in 2017. So, but that one was a day late and $1 short, literally. And yeah, and this one, I'm glad they're doing it this summer, and I hope it really, opens up people's eyes. And if everybody gets out in the street, and I'm going to be there if there's one anywhere near me. So I know there's one in Lansing.
And there will be. if you can go if you have the ability to get,
Yeah.
even if they're a little ways from where you are, it's important to be there.
Donald Trump
It's
wants to
important
become
to
a
be there.
dictator of America, and we need to stop that in any way, shape, or form because we don't
have
need.
to make an earth-shattering kaboom when we step up.
Yeah.
It's got to be like one collective, everyone's foot hitting the ground in one step forward.
Yeah. Next
Like
thing you know, Benny will be called the Democratic Republic of the United States. The fuck? The fuck is that?
No.
No. The most important thing to me is Americans need to go, especially like voters that do not want Trump, you need to go vote. Every major election, voter turnout sucks.
Yep.
It really does.
Yeah.
Young people, they do the protests, they do the marches, but then when the numbers come back, they never got registered. They didn't go vote. So to really encourage the people around you that you need to vote. You need to vote. You need to be registered to vote. You need to be ready to vote. And
check your voter registration. Check it often like you were diabetic.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking.
Florida tried to take mine away. They sent a letter to my American address saying that because I hadn't voted in the local elections, and they said some date, they were taking me off the voter rolls. And my mom actually opened the envelope and she was like, well, she doesn't vote in local because she has to do an absentee ballot for the federal, and that's all I can get access to. I have to turn it into an embassy. And I have voted in every voting cycle, at least at the federal level. And the local government office, which is very red, decided that they would try to remove me from the voter rolls. And so my mother actually marched into the election office. We're in a small enough town. She still knows people that work at places. And she went in there and was like, what are you thinking? My daughter lives in another country. You're going to take away her right to vote? No, I don't think so. And it was great. And then, of course, when I was in the U.S. recently, I went in and double checked and was like, I am still on the voter rolls, right? Because I do vote. I have to do absentee ballot. Oh, kitty.
That's Clementine.
Hi, Clementine.
And it is difficult to vote. But I feel like I have a responsibility here in Congo to vote because elections get canceled here, or sections of the country are not allowed to vote because of insecurity or because of Ebola, or different reasons are given why large millions of people are not allowed to vote. And so it's
any excuse they can find, any excuse they can find to not let you vote, right?
Yeah. So a few years ago it was Ebola. There were two main cities, Beni and Butembo, that were told they weren't allowed to vote. Between the two of them, that was probably a little over 1 million votes out of this province alone. And so they organized their own elections. They did health screenings. They took temperatures. Everybody wore masks. Everybody distanced. Everybody washed their hands. And they pulled off an election with no increase in the Ebola cases. And so they proved the government wrong. And so, but their votes still didn't count. So, and that's easy. It's easy to do. It's easy to do. So, it's not something that is too far off or so distant from reality in the U.S. that it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So
no.
And just a reminder to everyone, you can call into the show. The number is 248-780-9775. You can call into the show if you have any questions for Michelle, and feel free and don't be shy. And with that being said, Michelle, is there like anything that us as Americans, now I know you dropped us some links,
right,
and Tony, did you ever get those links by any chance, or maybe you didn't grab them, or
They're on the old show.
they're on the old show? So I don't know if you can go find those and drop them in the link or in the chat right now, Tony. But he'll try to work on that, and so we can get the links that you drop, because they're like for charities and to help other,
Right.
they're to help whatever we can do. There are, some really generous people here in the chat, and, maybe some of them can help out, and anything would be appreciated there. So,
Anything and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the truth. Anything and everything is appreciated. And the other thing is that, the way that we operate is that the majority of our funding always goes into the projects. It always goes into supporting our projects here and supporting the national staff that we hire to work those projects. And that, giving people's jobs, that is transformative, and so it's not just that I have a school and we educate kids, it's that I employ, 15 people at a school.
Mm-hmm.
That's 15 families that have an income every month. And so, those are important. And then, working with very vulnerable populations, which happen to be vulnerable populations all over the world. When you work with children, when you work with women, those are actually vulnerable populations because they are taken advantage of quite often.
Yes, ma'am.
And you see that creeping back up in American politics with what was that Kansas City, the kicker from Kansas City.
Oh my God.
Women. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It sounded like that I know Congolese men here who wouldn't say that about their wives.
Such a pompous prick.
Oh my God. It was so bad. If anybody, Tony, can you bring it up? The short clip. I just retweeted it. I retweeted it today. So, this kicker from Kansas City at a college commencement speech says to all the women in the audience, you have been horribly lied to because all you need to do is stay barefoot and pregnant and in the kitchen. And this is a guy who fucking he's got a $2 million contract. He makes over $400,000 a year. This guy can really shut the fuck all the way up. And it was really quite disgusting. And not only that,
it was. When
you talk about the kids that he was talking to, I forget what the tuition was, like $80,000 a year. $80,000 a year to go to this college. And you're going to tell them, oh, you just went into debt and you just got your degree and you're going to have the student loan for the rest of your fucking life. But just, you just get yourself. There we go. This fucking asshole. He deserves to be drop kicked from here to fucking the Congo.
Yeah, kick him over here. Kick him over here.
Kick him over there and see if he likes it over there. See what happens.
Yeah. So kick him over here.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Shit. No one's hearing it. God damn it. Hold on.
All right. Tony said no one's hearing it. All right, we're going to have to work on that for a second. But this guy can really just fuck off in a massive way. Like, I don't even care. I hope that he gets a little something from Kansas City. Because guess what? Who made Kansas City a lot of fucking money last year? I'll give you a hint. Her initials are T and S.
Yeah.
You briefly.
She wears really lovely red lipstick.
And she works her ass off.
She's a real billionaire. She's a real
billionaire.
Yeah, she's actually what you call a self-made billionaire.
Yeah, she's a real self-made billionaire, 100%. All right, here we go. Tony thinks he's got it.
Today, Congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school.
Oh, he's gonna get all choked up. All choked up about his misogyny.
Yeah, fuck him.
Oh.
Uh-oh, is the alpha male crying?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what he's doing?
Oh, yeah.
Big alpha male?
Big alpha male.
I had read my internet has been really bad this week. There was some damage to our undersea cables near South Africa. So I kept trying to open this article and never got it to open all the way. But the headline was that his mother was a physicist and worked outside the house.
Yeah, and she made a lot of money so he could go to college and afford to send him to college.
This is Texas Paul. Nailed it. He's got mommy issues.
He's got what issues?
Yeah.
He's got mommy issues.
Well, and a girl called him out on Twitter today, said, didn't you hook up with that male cheerleader back at Georgia Tech? And I'm like,
ooh.
Really?
well, a lot of these guys are closeted. I don't know what to say, but they're all fucking freaks
Don't tell
of nature.
them that.
Fuck, they're freaks. And they're like, oh, God told me this and God told me that. And then, I'm going to go like behind the scenes. I'm on the down low.
Well, I find as someone who is, I live here and work here as a missionary. And, I partner with churches. I am a Christian. I find it very offensive when people use faith to oppress people groups.
100%.
And they use it for power over a group of people. And, the problem that misogynistic, white fragile males in America have with women is that they have become empowered and that they have become independent, and it threatens them instead of seeing it as a positive that, now you've got, women in the workplace. How cool is that?
Look how much more we can achieve as a race of humans.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. No, you got to go home and go to the kitchen. Go to the kitchen. So.
Yeah. And well, that goes right along with VP Kamala Harris saying, kick that fucking door down this week. And the right lost their fucking minds. And
you need to kick that fucking door down.
Yeah, there you go. You need to kick that fucking door down.
Her sweet little voice too. It's just, she says it so sweetly.
No, but she was,
just need to get that fucking door down.
And I love the whole like speech because she was talking to the AAPI community, and she was saying, some people leave the door open for you and some people don't. And if they don't, you got to kick that fucking door down. And I just love it so much.
And then you need to kick that fucking door down.
Yeah. And it's so great. It's so great. And again, I'm not this punk who kicks a fucking football is going to tell women what the fuck to do with their fucking lives. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm going to have to come after this guy.
Not today, football boy.
They're called, because his name is Butker, Butker. He's a butt kicker. I'm going to kick your butt all the way from here to Toledo, fucko. Why don't you just shut up?
Oh my God. You know, just sometimes I'm at a loss for words. I'm like,
Well, Dana,
how staggeringly ignorant. Just and so far behind some people are
well,
that
Dana,
are in positions that who have money and are not struggling like MAGA trailer people. You know what I mean?
yeah. And Dana Goldberg said it really great.
I see it as as people of a certain maturity, we can sit back and kind of laugh at it and see the fallacy in it. The problem is the influence that he has on young people, especially young men. Young men hear that and they see him as a role model and they begin to mimic that behavior. And that's where we get that, all this toxic male, attitudes.
Look at, again,
And,
Donald Trump. He brought it out of everybody. He made it okay again. And Dana Goldberg, who's a comedian here, she said, you all voted for a man who brags about sexually assaulting women, has cheated on all 3 of his wives. He is a defendant in multiple criminal cases. Spare me your fake outrage because a black female VP of the United States said fucking. Your misogyny and your racism is showing. And I just loved it. And I'm like, I have to write that one down.
Tell me that's as bad as, tell me Kamala saying fucking in reference to kicking a door in is more disgusting than saying they just let you do it. Grab them right by the pussy.
Yeah. Or calling all Mexicans rapists and murderers.
How about last weekend he called Hannibal Lecter, the late great Hannibal Lecter, and was a good guy. Like the motherfucker. Seriously? You're talking about a cannibal. They killed people and ate people, and you think he's a great guy.
Kind of guy. That's his kind of guy.
I still don't think he comprehends that Hannibal Lecter is a fictional character, that this is not a real person.
Yeah.
And just like,
in Donnie's world, everything is, a show. In Donnie's world, everything is a show. Everything is a show, and it's all revolving around him. See, so he can have anyone in his reality that he wants to, and Hannibal Lecter's one of his heroes. Period. Now,
I'm not sure he would like to have dinner with Hannibal Lecter, though.
Hannibal wouldn't touch that. No, not even with fava beans and a nice Chianti. No.
I don't even think he gets. I don't even think he gets that he has friends for dinner, meaning he eats the people. Does he get that? I don't even know if he gets that. That's because he's so fucking dumb and out of it. I don't even get it.
Listen, I think he's saying that particular movie reference because he feels like he's being eaten alive. That's my take on it. Because it's true. And everything he projects just and he confesses all the time. It's like he just can't shut his fucking mouth.
No. He literally confessed the other day outside the court about the NDA.
Yeah. Yes. Constantly. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop. He's telling you what he's doing by accusing others of doing it or adding it into his repertoire like he did with Hannibal. It's just a way of him expressing the turmoil.
Isn't he supposed to be at Barron's fucking graduation right now? And that reminds me. It's Spy Kinnar's birthday today. Happy birthday, Spy. Thanks for introducing us.
Happy birthday, Spike.
We love you, girl.
Don't worry, we'll never call you 45.
No. Just go right to 46 and just say fuck it.
Right to 46. Fuck 45. Oh my God, Ruth.
That's a dirty number now.
It is a dirty number, just like 69.
At least 69 is fucking.
Right.
69 is at least funny.
At least both parties get something out of the 69.
Wait, what?
Oh my.
I said at least both parties get something out of a 69.
Oh my God. The penis balloons. M. Kilgore, that was fucking disgusting. And I was so pissed. And the thing that pissed me off, like straight away and most of all, is there's children in the streets of New York City. And now there's all these balloons that are penises.
What are you talking about? I missed this.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, I missed this.
They released a whole truck of penis balloons with Bragg's face on them this morning.
Alvin Bragg's face on them?
And they were like, substantial balloons shaped like dick and balls.
Oh, God.
Mylar, nice and shiny.
First of all,
So it'll kill lots of birds too.
First of all, releasing balloons is my fucking major pet peeve. I have such a problem with it. Every time I see somebody releasing balloons, I fucking go nuts. Ask Tony, he'll fucking tell you. I go crazy. So they did this. So a bunch of Republicans obviously did this with Alvin Bragg's face on him. How about when Donald Trump released that picture of him holding that baseball bat, it looked like he was going to hit Alvin Bragg in the head with it. This is
this fucking bullshit has been going on so long.
I know.
With his passive aggressive fucking, what he thinks is passive aggressive, but is blatantly fucking aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
He thinks it's all tongue in cheek.
Well, and it turns into aggression. Yeah. There's been multiple cases where people follow up on this stuff and they're violent or they have violent intentions, and you put people's lives at risk when you do certain things that encourages violence. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think half a dozen people have been arrested for trying to go after judges, and all the judges have been the judges that are in Donald Trump's cases. At least a half a dozen people. Those are the people we know about. We don't even know about the people that, have made threats that they're still looking for or whatever, which reminds me, they're still looking for Rudy Giuliani. They're trying to serve him fucking subpoena, and they can't fucking find him. I swear to God, I think he's left the country, but it's just I don't know. It's
No.
It's my first thought.
He's subway with the rat.
Did he get
rat at the subway?
Did he get a pair of cement shoes, compliments of his old pals from back in the day, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know if he jumped on a yacht and that was the last we're going to hear from him or what. I don't know.
Did you hear the guy who broke in and tried to murder
Paul Pelosi? Got 30 years.
Caught him 30 years.
Or even with his own party, because they brought a lynching mob to lynch Mike Pence.
Yeah.
On January 6th. I mean, that man, in no way, shape, or form do I like him, but I don't hate him enough to say he needs to die.
Yeah, no.
Or be hung on the steps of the goddamn Capitol.
Right.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't agree with any of his policies. I can't stand to listen to the man. But violence against him? No. Well,
it wasn't just him. It was Nancy Pelosi. It was any Democrat they could find. AOC, Ayanna Pressley had the panic buttons ripped out of her office. Even Mike Pence Mike Pence's key card to get back in was canceled, and he couldn't get back in, not the White House or anywhere else. I don't know. He was just like canceled that day. It was the weirdest fucking thing. Things we still don't have answers to, by the way, which
there's so much shit that we don't. I mean, we don't even know the tip of the iceberg, Diane.
mm-hmm.
We don't even know the tip of the iceberg. This is so fucking. He's got his fucking filthy fucking hands in everything, and and I'm sure he's got shit on a lot of people.
I'm positive of it.
He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy who could get people into real compromising situations very easily and
videotape
make
it.
Proof of it.
Yep.
Yeah. And well, the other thing is that he doesn't care who he incites. He doesn't care if it's Nazis, if it's some militant right-wing group, if it's, as long as they say that they support him, he'll back whatever they're saying.
Yep.
He'll make excuses for them. He'll throw a fit that, Colin Kaepernick knelt for the national anthem, but then at the same time cater to Nazis on university campuses.
Yeah.
And say that they were good people. So
he's even dropped the both sides thing. He just they're good people, not good people on both sides. He dropped the both sides thing.
No. I draw a line at Nazis.
Yeah.
That's one of my lines.
Yeah.
Nazis are a line.
Yeah, there's a definite big gouge in the ground. It's not just a little line. Yeah. It's a fucking trench.
Yeah. It's a moat with alligators and snakes in it.
Yeah. Mount across, I dare you. I dare you.
Oh, one of the other things that hit the news here. So on Thursday nights, I do a pub quiz here. And so one of the rounds is current events. And I knew that I wanted to bring this up with you was one of our favorite vice presidential possible candidates for Trump. She's now been banned from 6 reservations, I think, if not more. More. And so that's like the majority
of
the state of North Dakota.
Yeah.
And the majority of like certain states. And and I'm like, this is great. But yeah, by connecting our indigenous populations with the Mexican drug cartels, which is very, very interesting to me.
And it's
that she would make that connection.
And literally, her book came out, and it took a fucking shitstorm flop.
She had to cancel her tour.
She had to cancel her book tour because she's getting too many questions.
State to run?
She's getting too many questions about shooting puppies in the face, killing a goat because it smelled, 3 horses that she shot, and lying about meeting Kim Jong-un because she stares down little tyrants because she knows what it's like to deal with children. Yeah,
that's all interesting. Yeah, she's just piling it up. So, but yeah, I'm proud of our indigenous nations for standing up and telling her she's not welcome on their land. It's bad enough that that's the land that they got after all their land was stolen anyways. And
300 treaties were broken. 300 treaties were written. 300 treaties were broken.
Yep.
And
if anybody should have disdain against the government, it would be the indigenous people.
100%.
And they still have, high poverty rates and high alcoholism and high suicide rates, and it sucks. And a lot of indigenous women go missing.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say that.
Found again.
Yeah, no, there is a big problem with missing indigenous women, and there seems to be very little to no police action done, and of course the resources for the reservation police is almost nothing.
Right.
And then of course they're not allowed. They have no jurisdiction off the reservation. So when these women are carried off the reservation and something happens to it, they lose their jurisdiction. She's gonna say that they're the ones smuggling drugs in for the Mexican cartels and insult their leaders and insult,
it's disgusting.
everything about
fucked
them.
up. It's so fucked up. So good on them. Keep her the fuck off of your land, guys. I'm on your side.
Keep as many non-indigenous off your land as possible, because we all know what happens when too many non-indigenous show up on their land. They get less and less land every time.
So yeah, good on you guys. Keep on keeping on.
Yeah. I knew you had probably seen that, but that you would like that. That was a pub quiz question this week for everyone here in Congo.
I like that you do that, because those little quizzy things are like educational and informative and fun.
Yeah.
When you can make fun out of teaching somebody, you've won the battle.
Yeah. That's true. It's so true.
Seriously.
And when the end result is a bottle of tequila for the winner,
Whoa!
it's even better.
The whole bottle, including the worm.
I can't. Oh my God. The last time I drank tequila was the last time I'll ever drink tequila.
Yeah.
Tequila has contributed to some pretty rough mornings for me.
Me too.
Oh my God. We were in Rosarito Beach, Mexico, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Until it wasn't. Until it stopped being fun. I think my head spun for like 3 days. It's like, Jane, get me off this thing. Oh my God. Yeah, no more. No. Now I call it tequila.
That's what I call it. Tequila. Yeah.
That's what it was trying to do.
Well, and we do not have a great brand of tequila here. We have a brand called Camino, and it's pretty rough.
Oof.
It's a pretty rough tequila. It does its job, but it's rough.
Wow. Was it made in a bathtub, or you're not sure?
I'm not sure. It might be from those Mexican cartels.
Leaf on Bad Built Butch Body. Yes!
Thanks, Scotty B, for hanging out.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
I love her. She's fucking adorable, and I love her. We have some very good looking people.
Jasmine Crockett and MTG getting into it on the house floor yesterday. Oh boy, you came from the wrong two bitches, MTG. You do not go after Jasmine and AOC. You are gonna lose.
And AOC.
AOC from the block going up against a hayseed. It was beautiful.
Oh, baby girl. Girl. Oh. That was just, that was fire. Tony's got it already. It was a mess. It was such a mess.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn
Please.
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising.
Wait, pause it. Who said, is she a porn star?
Who's advising who? What?
That was Raskin.
What?
Did you hear that?
Did somebody?
Wait, start it over again, because a guy said, is she a porn star?
I think it was Raskin.
Just start it over again.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
It is.
Who's advising who? What?
Who's he referring to?
Do you?
Who said that?
The daughter of.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about
just a-
AG.
I
Garland.
don't think you know what you're here
President.
for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I
you still
think your
stuck in the
fake eyelashes
courtroom.
are messing up
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Wait, hold on.
Order,
The whole
Mr.
room.
That's
Chairman.
beneath each
Whoa.
of you.
The whole room gasps at that point.
She-
Even the guys in
yeah,
the
she
audience
said-
know that was a fucking step too far.
You see her flip her fake fucking glued in hair over her shoulder when she's dissing Jasmine
Yeah.
about her eyelashes.
Just for everybody in the audience, the guys who don't know, those are hair extensions.
Yeah.
That's
Her
not
hair
her
only
real
comes
hair.
down to about to her shoulders.
Yeah.
Like a butt like here. So
Those
she's got
that little part that's hanging over her right shoulder, and I can even tell that part that's hanging over her left shoulder that's kind of going like that. Those are hair extensions, and this bitch is going like this after
your
she does
fake
it.
eyelashes.
Yeah. When she's got fake hair, fucking bitch.
Engage
Right.
in order of your committee.
Order. I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your
Move
feelings hurt?
her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play. with
Baby
me.
girl?
We're gonna,
I don't
we
think
are going to
so.
move, and we're going to take your words down.
I
Thank you very
second that motion.
much.
Oh, baby
Don't stare.
girl. Hmm. You know,
Jim, she's a bleach blonde on top of it all. So no matter what she's putting in on the inside, she's killing her hair on the outside by bleaching it. So
yeah. She ain't a
doesn't
real
matter.
blonde. I can tell you. I
Yeah.
can just tell by her roots.
the drapes don't match the carpet. Not at all.
It also, I think that a lot of what she says though goes to show that she actually doesn't have a lot of original thoughts because she's just recycling something that Donald Trump would have done. When you don't have an actual thought, she didn't even know the person's correct name that she's questioning about, and then she has to be corrected. Then she has to go through insults at someone physically because there's nothing left in the bleach blonde brain to generate a thought
Well-
that isn't an insult.
And Michelle, at the same time, earlier that day, Bobo and Gates and all that, she wasn't invited to go to New York City with them, and she's little butthurt, and all their shit went viral. She wanted her little viral moment, and that was her chance to do it. And I literally felt like she was jealous at all the attention that all the other maggots that went to New York, but she wasn't invited to go.
They had to suspend this till 8 o'clock.
Because they don't even like her.
They suspended that vote until 8 o'clock because the Republicans went to New York. So, yeah, she can really just fuck off all the way. Is there
Pretty
any more
much.
left to that, or no? You don't want to go into the whole thing, but no, there was a screaming match. Somebody told Jasmine to calm down, and of course, you never, ever tell a woman to calm down, ever.
Please,
Just
don't tell
FYI.
Yeah. If you haven't learned that lesson yet, that is a very important lesson to learn in life. So,
Allow the
either
steam.
do it-
Allow the steam to come out, guys. Just allow the steam to come out.
Yeah.
Either don't do it or be prepared. Be prepared. If you're gonna tell a woman to calm down, you better be prepared.
Yep. I'm sorry. Who
Oh.
is Dabney Coleman? Somebody said Dabney Coleman's dead at 92. I don't know who that is.
Oh, I thought he was already gone. Oh, bad on me. Yeah. But that's the name I recognize because it's a television actor from the 70s.
Oh, the little dude from Different Strokes?
No, he was the guy who played the boss on 9 to 5.
Oh, Danny
Oh, he played the boss on 9 to 5. I know who you're
I
talking
believe
about.
I believe that was Dabney Coleman. And he
Okay.
was in some sort of a
I don't
situational
fucking
comedy.
know. Tony doesn't know. Tony's saying shit he doesn't know.
Was he on Mary Hartman, or
he played such a good asshole in 9 to 5. Like, seriously, it was so great.
total asshole?
Shannon's like, that was Gary Coleman. Shannon, you have a right to spank my husband. Go ahead. You have every right. Go ahead. He's out of line.
Oh, that was Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
Dabney
Yeah,
Coleman.
Gary Coleman.
Yeah, he passed away a long time ago, I think, yeah.
See, kind of same names. See, I don't stay brushed up on movie star stuff.
Yeah. No, but I'm sorry to take it off, take off subject there, but I'm like, I'm sorry, who died? I have no idea. I don't know. Not to be rude,
Yeah, back
but
to
I'm
March.
like, I'm sorry, I have no idea. So, Michelle, let's try to get back on. I was thinking about you today, and I was like, I want people to also know that where you are, you're safe. That you are in a compound. You do live in a war zone, but there are armed guards around where you are, and you have dogs, watchdogs. So anything shenanigans, they start barking, and. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how safe do you really feel? You know what I mean? Like, is it a 9 or like a 5? You know what I mean? Like, it was seriously, how safe do you really feel there?
From day to day, I think it changes. It depends on the political atmosphere of the population too, how close are the bombs that are dropping, which area of the city I'm working in that day. So at my house, I feel very, very safe. Like you said, I have security guards. I live in a compound, so it's walled, gated. I've got security dogs. I'm in a nice part of town. So I feel very, very safe at home. It's generally when I leave the house, I really have to check security reports, make sure that I'm not driving towards where they're fighting at that day. I had meetings that went late in one part of the city the other day, and so I got a police escort out. So I drove out, and there was an armed police officer on a motorbike behind me, following me out, to make sure that I made it all the way out of that district, because it's a really unsafe area. Once it starts to get darker, and it was heading that way. It was a really late day at work. So, it was one of those. So depending on the day, the situation, I either decrease or increase just how much layers of security I have. I also get a lot of security reports. That there's days that I wake up and I say, I'm not leaving the house today. I'm not going. Tuesday, our internet was completely out. And I said, I will not drive into that area to that project without having Google Maps open. It's not that I don't know where our project is. It's that I don't know all the side roads. And if something happens on that main road, I need to be able to get out of there. And so, from day to day, I just change what I'm willing to do and where I'm willing to go based on my security reports of the morning. Those security reports generally come from the UN and from an organization that is dedicated to just doing security for humanitarians, and that's called INSO. And so you get your UN report, you get your INSO report, you put them together, you look at some of the things that are being said in different chat groups, and you just decide what you're going to do. I've been caught up in some pretty bad situations a few times, so it's scary. There's times where when there's going into certain places right before I'll start to turn into them, I get that moment of an anxiety attack, but then I'm like, nope, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. This is your job. This is where you live. This is where you work. You just keep going. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't be able to do what I do, but a lot
That's
of
for sure.
what enables me to do what I do is that I've got a pretty rough past. And so there's very few things in life that surprises me. And I'm a pretty, I take security pretty seriously. So that doesn't mean that at some point something bad might not happen to me. I mean, you just never know. You know, there's you know, there was some UN employees, non-national UN employees that were killed in Gaza this past week. And, you know, they were just trying to get aid delivered in, and trucks were attacked, and, you know, there were injuries there. And then in Gaza itself, there were, you know, non-national people that worked for the UN that were in Gaza that were killed. So there's always a chance that something will happen. But I just trust every day that I've got a job to do. I need to go do it, and then God will protect me. If not, then I guess I don't have to stress over this life anymore.
Aw. Jesus.
If God stops protecting you, it's because your job is done.
And that's yeah. Then I'm done. You know,
you said,
I'm not too. I try not to stress over those things.
But
too much.
I think you'll live a long time to do the work that you're doing there, young lady, because it's noble.
Yeah, and it's not this area of the world. I'm not a target in general. There are times where there are protests against foreigners living in the area and working in the area, and then I am a target. But on the day-to-day basis, I am not a target. And the other thing is that there have been people that have approached me kind of like aggressively, but I speak Swahili. And most of the expats that are here only speak French. And so as soon as I start speaking Swahili with them, they immediately know there's something a little bit different about me. And it gives me enough time to kind of explain to them that I don't work for the UN, I don't work for the EU, I don't work for the US, that, you know, that I'm here, I'm building communities, I'm building things for them. And that in a lot of ways I sympathize with them, and I sympathize with how angry they are and how tired they are of war. That I don't approve of any protest turning violent ever for any reason, but I do believe in the right to protest. I am still very much an American when it comes to that.
Right. Right.
You know, it's alarming to me that there haven't been many protests.
There haven't been more. Yeah.
And the ones that I see are mostly not about us, which kind of blows my mind a little bit, because those very people could be in the very same situation easily at this stage of the game that they're protesting for.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also
and I'm like,
TikTok and Chinese, Russian disinformation getting to those kids on college campuses. They're not protesting for women's rights. They're protesting for what's going on in Gaza, and there's not a freaking thing we can do about it over here. Like, literally, I mean, Biden can do whatever he can try, but it's not going to change, I mean, it's amazing to me how ignorant Americans are, and they think that Biden can snap his fingers and make it go away.
Yeah.
Or Trump, for that matter.
Is something that I find odd also is that the U.S. is not the all-consuming power that most Americans think they are. That in a lot of parts of the world, France has more influence in this area than the U.S. does. Britain will have more influence in certain areas. China will have more influence. So it's the U.S. is not all the all-consuming power that they once thought that they were. The post World War II era was a really long time ago.
And people forget.
So,
because a generation has died off, and now it starts up again.
We have to be ever diligent.
I mean, I do think that the U.S. should play a role in being a world leader, but they do not run the world. They can make decisions that have, good or bad effects on things, but they cannot stop somebody like Bibi Netanyahu. Bibi Netanyahu doesn't listen to the UN. He doesn't listen to the EU. He's not going to listen to the U.S. He's going to do what he wants to do, and he's pretty much been given a blank check at this point by the Israeli courts and by the IDF to just to basically destroy Gaza. And there's not much that the world can do. What they could be doing is cutting off all arms. But these young people on campuses, what they need to do, going back to what I said earlier, most of them are probably not even registered to vote and won't go vote. The statistics tell us that they don't do that.
That's right.
All the statistics for all the elections tell us these young people will go out in the streets and march. They will make a lot of noise, but they don't go to the polls. And that's how you really impact change in America, is you change who's making the policy.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think after Roe and after all the gun violence the last 4 years and the Republicans doing absolutely fuck all about it has really pissed off Gen Z, and they're going to be coming out this time. Young women and young men realize, holy shit, like, now if I get my girl pregnant, like even a guy, from a guy's point of view, if I get my girl pregnant, now she's got to force her to have the baby. I'm going to be forced to marry her. Makes them fucking think twice.
Child support.
Child support, if not marry, child support. So it's like, you're on the hook now too, brah. So, you better start thinking about it too. And it does affect women just as much as men. But I really feel like with Roe and the gun violence that literally we've watched fuck all from the fucking Republicans. They won't do a fucking thing. After Sandy Hook, and they didn't do a fuck all then.
Mm-mm.
And then it just, got progressively worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
But they have thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
They have thoughts and prayers. Yeah. So, and then they sign another bill that allows anyone to carry anything anywhere. In Florida, you don't even need a concealed carry permit anymore.
Not anymore.
You can carry that gun anywhere you want without any kind of permit.
Anyone can get one. Anyone can get one.
Yeah.
Anyone can get one.
Guns have more rights.
It's just disturbing.
Guns have more rights than my fucking pussy.
Yeah, they do.
This is true.
It's fucking bullshit.
Yes.
Suzanne Forsuppy wants to know, Michelle, what kind of dogs do you have?
I have a German Shepherd, a long-haired German Shepherd named T'Challa. That is Black Panther's real name. And I have a Boxer Basenji mix named Stella. And they're both very vocal. They're not, my German Shepherd he's a bit aggressive, but overall they're not as mean as they sound, but they sound really vicious.
I had a little rat terrier that sounded like super vicious. Like somebody came to the door. We had a mailman that had to push the mail through the slot in the door, and my mailman, he would rip the mail out of the fucking out of his hands on the other end of the door, and he was just insane. And I always felt so bad. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I don't know what his deal is. He doesn't. He would shred the mail into bits, and oh yeah, and I could not bring him out. I could not bring him out around other dogs. They would always get in a fight. I literally I felt bad, but the little guy, when I got him, his name was Repo. He'd been repossessed so many times. Nobody knew what his name was anymore. I called him Jack because his name needed to be really strong. You know, like Jack. You know, sit, Jack. You couldn't be like, Willow or something soft. It couldn't be a soft name. It had to be a hard name to get him,
Your last name's Russell.
So, yeah. So he was Jack Russell.
I kind of like the Repo. I think I would have left his name Repo.
Yeah.
I would call him, he's the Repo man.
Oh, poor guy. I didn't know where to go.
Poor little shit.
Yeah, he was a little shit. And it took a lot to train him, but he's smart as a whip. And like, what?
I had a friend growing up that she had a Rottweiler and a Chihuahua. And anyone who first came to her house, she would say, you need to watch out for the dog. And then as you're approaching the dogs, you realize it's the Chihuahua she was referring to. Because the Rottweiler's laying down on the ground on his back, wanting belly rubs.
Hi.
Trying to eat you. So
Little dogs with big dog syndrome.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, in my household, the most vicious animal I have is my little tiny female cat. She beats everyone up. When the dogs come in, she beats them up. She puts them in their place. So, yeah, she keeps everybody in their place. So
No, Janelle, we didn't shoot him. We don't shoot our dogs.
No, we do not shoot our dogs or our cats or our goats.
Stella.
Janelle.
Stella!
Oh my God. Oh.
You gotta laugh about it, otherwise you just fucking.
Hi, Margot.
Yeah, we don't shoot our dogs or our cats or our goats. Although we do eat goat.
Or our horses.
Yeah. Nope. I personally do not eat goat because I don't like it, but there is a lot of goat that gets eaten here.
Yeah.
So.
Same with Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I find it to be very tough because those goats don't go to the market until they're done doing everything they can do. They're pretty tough.
Yep. But they're not wasted, and none of them is wasted. They served man the whole time they were alive, and they served him after death. I mean, fuck. That's like,
going back
pretty good to the goat, if you ask me. Pretty goddamn good at a goat.
So if you guys have any questions and if you want to call into the show, don't be shy. 248-780-9775. If you've got any questions for Michelle, again, you can call in or you can just ask them in the chat and we'll try to get to them. So
You know what would have been cool if we could have got the number 8675309.
Oh my God.
309.
There was a person that had that number and it was like in Ohio or something and they got in the 80s their phone was ringing off the hook.
Hello.
And everybody was asking for Jenny. Can I talk to Jenny? Jenny, who can I turn to?
So another interesting news report that came in on this side that we have been laughing about quite a bit is the portal between New York and Dublin. Have you guys caught this one? That there's an internet portal, and they're connected now, and so there's this big device, and you can walk up to it, and you can see what's going on in Dublin from New York, and Dublin can see what's going on in New York from Ireland, and so it had to be shut down this week because people were flashing body parts, and of course, and
hello.
When I first heard it, I was sure that it was the New Yorkers, and I was so wrong. It was those Irish. I'm so.
Oh, I wish Brian Gallagher was in the chat right now. Listen to this one.
You hear that, Brian? It was the Irish.
It was those Irish.
That's hilarious.
Shut down the damn tube.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, my Irish friends, God bless them. I think they would probably have been flashed in the portal too.
There she is, Wizzy Buff.
Hi, Wizzy.
Damn, girl. I was just honing in, and I was gonna say, has anybody seen Wizzy Buff anywhere? Because I didn't see it. Hi, honey. TGIF. Get your shit done, girl.
I know what Rocky Mountain oysters are. You can't fool me.
Bullets.
Shout outs to you, family.
Shout outs.
Lift it up for Dan Anderson.
Yeah. Dan Anderson's a good guitar player. We sometimes watch him on YouTube. He's a good afternoon, like if you're doing chores around the house, you just leave it on.
Yep. Absolutely. Dan has helped me do so much housework. It's not even
I
funny.
know, he has no clue. I get so much shit done when he's on.
Dan Anderson, shout out. Shout out to you, honey.
All right. Is somebody texting now? My phone keeps going in off, and I'm like, is somebody texting me? Okay.
Sorry, I'm adjusting. I've got to get my phone back. I've got to get my phone on the charger. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
So another thing I wanted to ask you, and I was thinking about, or kind of wanted to rehash, because you said that, you can run into things that are happening in a war zone on the road, but you also run into what you call checkpoints, and that's from these weirdo militias that you said there's 150 of them. They're all different. You don't want to run into either. You don't want to run into any of those too. So when your internet is down, you have no way of finding out where they are either. Am I correct about that?
Right. So along the road, there are checkpoints. There's official checkpoints that are run by the military and the police that are Congolese. And that would be like when we're leaving different districts, going into a different territory, leaving a province. Those are all like our normal checkpoints that we have all the time. You need to show your travel documents. You need to show your resident documents, your work documents, your car documents. And they do that because there's so much movement of rebel groups here. And but yeah, to go into what's now being held by the rebel group, you have to get a exit document from the Congolese side and an entry document from the M23 side. And so right now, I don't leave the city. I'm just stuck in the city. And so I do go out within sections of the city, but remember, it's a city of 2 million plus 1 million refugees. So there's 3 million people here. It's a huge city.
Right.
And we take up a lot of space. So, it is generally what I will run into within the city. The police will put up barricades, especially at night, and they'll search vehicles and and check your ID, check your documents, check your car documents. And you just have to, you get in line and you just roll down your windows, unlock all your doors, and just let people go through your vehicle, and you show all your documents.
Well, and then you have to sometimes bribe them with money, right?
Well, not for the official like barricades. They're generally not looking for money. The problem comes with just when random police decide they're going to start stopping a bunch of cars, because that's when they're looking for any reason to tell you have to pay a fine. And those are the ones that I really try to avoid. I'll turn around and go the other way. I'll take side roads. I'll do a lot of things to avoid
that situation.
Bribery. Yeah, the bribery stops. But then, like I said, there's the official barricades too. What are they called? Roadblocks. Sorry, the French word it's called a boulage, and I'm word searching for English terms. Sorry,
the English translation.
Yeah, roadblocks. That's what it's called, a roadblock. And it's an official roadblock because they have the whole road, and they've got they take 2x4s and drive nails through them, and they're across the entire road, and so that's an official one. But when there's just a group of police with AK-47s standing on a street corner, jumping out in front of cars, making them stop, they're just shaking them down.
Yeah,
and so
just out on a hustle.
That's just a shakedown. So you try to avoid that at all costs. And one of the ways you do that is by keeping all your documents current. And it's ridiculous the amount of work I put into documents. On Monday, I'll go and sit probably for quite a while in an office to get a little card for my car saying that it's registered. I have to do that every 6 months. I have to get an inspection every 6 months. I've got to get insurance. I've got to get registration. It's a lot of documents. You have to have a fire extinguisher. You have to have an emergency triangle. You have to have the document for your window tinting. So when they're going through everything, if you're missing just one little thing, that's their opportunity. And they take it. They take their opportunities. So
that's
yeah. So I love it when I hear people complain about stolen elections, or they complain about certain things, and I'm like, oh, if you only lived here, you would actually really understand what a stolen election looks like.
Yeah.
If you only lived here, you would actually know what true corruption is. And then you would be able to recognize it in your own MAGA party, but you can't, this man who idolizes African dictatorships, and, that, you don't even recognize that as corruption. You can come and stay with me for a bit. I'll get you some lessons real fast.
Right.
So,
well, that's why we want you. That's why we, love to hear from you, Michelle, and we would like to do this more often, because it's like every time I talk to you, I learn something new, and those are the things I'd like to dive in deeper with. I mean, this is only the second time we've really talked, but in a lot of Americans have no idea what's going on over there. Like 0.0 fucking knowledge.
They don't even know what's going on in their own backyard.
No. I saw a poll the other day that said 30% of women don't even know Roe's been overturned. How the fuck can you have a pussy in this goddamn world and not know it's been overturned? I don't know.
Well, a lot of girls don't know what Roe means.
Right. Well, let me tell you,
use that term, Roe.
Every expat in Congo, so these are expatriates. These are people that they live and work in another country. And they're from all over the world. They all know that Roe was overturned, because did we have a lot of discussions about that for the next 2 weeks. And that was my male and female friends, and fellow expats, that as soon as they heard, oh, you're American, what the hell just happened in your country?
Right.
And And it's interesting how many men here are what, ideally we would like most men to be. They're allies, they're advocates, they're over here working in positions to protect vulnerable people, including women and children. And so most of them were really offended that the U.S. took away American women's right to choose. And they also don't understand. We brought this up before. A lot of my European friends are really perplexed as to why abortion is even an issue. Because they have health care.
Yeah.
So they don't have high numbers of abortion because they have access to birth control. They have access to health care. They have access to prenatal care. They have access to all of these things that makes a woman feel more comfortable in giving birth. And
safer, makes her feel safer, because people don't realize that pregnancy is a medical condition. Period.
Yeah.
Anything.
That's a big issue, that Americans, for being one of the most wealthy countries in the world, for having so much medical technology, so much medical research going on, that we have no healthcare, and that's just such a foreign idea to so many of my European friends, and they are not living in some fascist country, with socialism, such a bad word. That's not. They have, most of those countries scored way higher than the U.S. did on the Happy Index, so they're a lot happier. They're happy paying those taxes and getting health care.
And I was listening to four four women doing Girl Talk. It was on YouTube, and they were talking about the abortion issue, and they were saying the right believes the dead body inside of a woman has more rights than the woman itself. So when a fetus dies inside of her, just leave it there until it's time to fucking come out. Are you serious? So she can die and rot from the inside out? You fucking assholes? You're sadistic.
Yeah.
There is no other word for it besides sadistic.
Yeah, I said it in the last show that I was on, that that is not a pro-life movement. It is a pro-birth movement only, because if they were truly pro-life
about it.
No, it's pro-power.
They would care about raising that kid.
No.
They would care about giving that kid an education. They would care about that kid needing food and health care. They would care about that child, the whole thing, the whole time. Nope, they don't care about that.
Not after it's born.
They would care about giving immigrants more protections when it came to things like food, shelter, and water. These are things that I'm not saying that let them all in, but when people have been marching through the desert, they need some water, man. You're letting people, you can't put them in detention and not give them their basic rights. And so if you were truly pro-life, then you would care about every life, even after it was born, and all the way up until the point that it dies. That life has dignity. That life has worth. There are people that love that life. And so when you say that you're just going to stop taking care of things once they're born, that's such a minor. That is 9 months of their pre-life.
Right.
There's years of life.
They don't even give a shit about the 9 months of pre-life. They don't want to even give women that health care. And you're so pro-life, then why don't you help women have babies? You want to do everything to make it difficult. Our birth rates are the fucking worst in the fucking world. infant mortality is down, or I mean up, I should say, and the death of the mother is up too, because of southern states. You're sick. You're fucking sadistic fuckos, and we're not going back. That's the other thing. We need a T-shirt that says we're not going back. Double middle fingers in the air. No.
I don't
Keep
have
your
a square
hands
to
out of my
stand.
panties.
I don't have a
And
square
the
to
thing
spare.
about the entire argument, the entire fight, what is really needed is men that actually are advocates and allies, men that say, I have daughters, I have wives, I have sisters, I have a mother. That we need those men to become more and more vocal too, and they need to realize that, you know, the daughters that they're raising right now in a lot of states, they have no rights over their own body right now, and they have no access to medical care.
If they break their arm, they can go to the fucking hospital. If they get pregnant, they're forced to carry it. They break their arm, the hospital will fix it. If they go sepsis, they might as well. It's a death sentence. It's so disgusting.
Yeah, and so, you know, we need men to also, you know, talk about this and be vocal about it and say no. I don't agree with that either. Just because it's a woman's issue, no, it's everyone's issue, because we're all connected.
That's right.
You know, I don't know any men that exist in the world without women.
Can't have one without the other.
Here. Right.
Not unless you came out of a test tube, but even if you came out of a test tube, you still had to go in a womb somewhere.
Yeah, so, you know, we do need men. I saw on Facebook today an old friend of mine that owns tattoo shops. So he's heavily tattooed up, biker, my age, pretty rough around the edges. But he spoke out against that Kansas City kicker and said, no, you don't talk to women like this. I have 4 daughters, and if anyone talks to my daughter like that, they've got a whole tattoo shop coming after them.
Yeah.
And he was like being such an ally, such an advocate, and just really like speaking up as a man. And as much as I don't want to admit it, we need men's voices. We need
his words carry way
I don't
more
mind admitting
power than all 3 of us put together. His 1-2 statements, what carries more weight with men than all of us put together. And because, you know, with us, it's like, oh, it goes in one, and you're being hysterical and you're overreacting. That's what we get all the fucking time. Oh, calm down. Oh, really?
Calm down.
Fuck me.
Calm down.
It's infuriating. It's like infuriating. But literally, that one guy from the tattoo shop, his words has more power than 20 women.
And he has a huge following because it is a very, very good tattoo shop. There's more than one location. You know, it's in a larger city. And so, and he didn't have to use his platform for that.
No.
He promotes his business.
Yeah.
And he was just so angry that he heard that when he heard that man's words, he couldn't help it. And it's those kinds of men that we need standing up about Roe, standing up about healthcare, standing up against, you know, misogyny, you know, all of these things. We need those men. We do need those men. And we also
don't shrug it off. Don't shrug it off and not say anything when you hear some other guy say something fucked up.
Yeah, like locker room talk. It ain't locker room talk. It's fucking awful. It's gross.
That's right.
Yeah.
And how would you like it if someone talked about that way about your daughter, your mother, your wife,
sister,
whatever?
Yeah.
I don't care.
So,
you wouldn't like it.
That's what
you don't like it when it comes to your doorstep, but it's coming to a doorstep near you real quick.
Yeah, for Roe, We need young people to actually get registered and vote if they're angry. And we need men to speak up if they're angry. Because there is a mass majority that is offended by the overturning of Roe. And you would be surprised how many of those people are Christians in churches that may not agree with the absolute idea of abortion, but they strongly disagree with taking away the right to choose.
Right.
That they have personal feelings, but they set them aside for the mass majority. And that they see that you've taken away the right, to choose. And you're not doing this because you care about children.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you want to control my body.
Yeah.
And that's where the line is if they actually, genuinely cared about children and women.
Well, if you cared about children, you have to care about women. If you care about children, then you have to care about women. They're the ones who are bringing them into the world. And when you've got 1 in 3 women who've been sexually abused and 1 in 4 men being sexually abused, those are fucking massive numbers. And those are only the numbers that have been reported. Those numbers could be way worse. We don't even know how fucking bad those numbers could be. It could be way worse if those are the only numbers that have been reported. So we got to keep all that shit in mind. And a lot of Republican women have had abortions. And and maybe no fault of their own, maybe, just a mess up or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. The point is that they had the option, and then they had a life, and they went on to have careers and children and all that other whatever. Okay? But the option was open to them. Now when, when shit goes down, what, the option's just going to be gone? Now you're going to throw a national abortion ban? You're going to ban what is it called? Mifepristone or whatever?
Yeah.
And you want to ban IVF? Those are women who desperately want to have children and are struggling to have children, and you're going to take that away? I thought you wanted more fucking babies. I thought you wanted us to be incubators. What the fuck? Now you're going to take
make
that?
up your mind. Do you want us that raise your children, Mr. Kansas City, or do you want us give us health care? We'll raise your kids.
I mean, a lot of those women who are in that graduating class might go on to have fucking children. It's true. A lot of them also have gone to college so they could get a job and be a professional. Because guess what? It takes 2 incomes to have a child. It costs $100,000 a year to have a child. It costs $350,000 to put them through fucking college. Most people go broke and have student loans for the rest of their lives. Tony has a student loan still today. And they still keep piling money on that motherfucker. They don't give 2 shits.
I just got my student loans forgiven. Thank you, Biden.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Biden.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
Where's the horn?
27 years. 27 years.
Thank you,
Fuck
Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Right on.
So,
They talked the ball.
yeah, that and the thing about
I want to Tony, calm down. That's not the one. I was looking for the okay. Yeah. But that's the one.
The DJ sound.
That's the one.
There you go. That's the one I was looking for. Come on. That's awesome. Fuck yeah, Joe Biden. Kicking ass.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Joe Biden, because my loans were forgiven.
And you have a lot of degrees. How many degrees do you have again? Theology?
I've got a degree in education and in history and political science and in theology. And then I have another degree for legal assistant. So that's just a separate one. I paid for that myself. But my student loan, I took out 2 student loans in 1996.
Wow.
And that was it. I managed to make it through college. My parents helped. I had savings bonds that I had been collecting my whole life. There were a lot of things, that went into me actually leaving university with very little debt compared to some of my friends. But the way the system was rigged at that time, there wasn't a lot of internet. You didn't do everything digitally. And so everything had to be done by mail. And they would sell your loan and you wouldn't know. And it would be months before you got notification. And then you get all these checks back that you've been sending. And they'd say, oh, you didn't pay your loan. You defaulted. Now we get to change your interest rate. And this was like a big problem in the late 90s and early thousands. And I know so many Americans, like graduates, that they have the same story that I have. It is like almost point by point by point. And we've paid back 3-4 times what we've borrowed, and we're still paying them.
It happened to Tony.
Yeah, good on you, Joe Biden. Good on you, Joe Biden.
job,
Thank
Biden.
you, Mr. President. Yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
For helping the average American citizen.
Yeah, and it is a huge help. You know, it's especially since I've spent the last two years really stressed about them, because they told me they were forgiven, then they put them back, then they said, oh, apply for this, do this, do this. Oh my God, my saga has been so long. All of my friends here in Congo that are not American are like, I cannot believe you guys go through that. I cannot believe just how they're like, every American I know has student loans and they stress over it. So yeah, thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah,
thank you.
Again, another thing, the student loans, the health care. I'm telling you, like, we have been brainwashed into American exceptionalism. That America is the be-all and end all.
I'm not brainwashed.
The shiny hill, the shiny thing on the hill, whatever it is. Like, whatever. I'm sorry. We're good at a lot of things. We have done really great things. We're not there yet. We've taken a step backwards in the last decade because of fucking Trump. It's time to get the fucking train back on the fucking tracks and just be like, road rage all the fucking way through 2024. We're going to do it in 26. We're going to do it in 28. No more of this fucking bullshit. These antics
no more
that
of
these
the bullying bullshit.
These Republicans are trying to pull and be breaking Trump's gag order and all this fucking shit. It's a clown show. A perfect example of why they call them the do-nothing Republicans right now. Because they've done absolutely jack shit for anybody in the country. For anybody. They've taken shit away. They'll go after your voting rights. They'll go after everything else.
Don't forget the huge tax break that the 1% got from Trump.
Yeah.
And the middle class is carrying that now because he sold it to the middle class that they were going to get a tax break. That did not exist. They're actually carrying the burden for the 1% to have a huge tax break. So that's what they've done. They've made the wealthy wealthier. They've put people in power that are power hungry.
Yeah.
And are, and that's all. They just want to control, but when it comes to American exceptionalism too, America is exceptional in some ways. In the 21st century here, we've taken away the right for women to choose. That's very exceptional when you ask my European companions here. Yeah, we're an exception. All right.
An exception to the rule.
We have rampant school shootings that's pretty exceptional too. You know, all over the world, you know, wow. And so, yeah, the things that make us exceptional right now, we should not be proud of. There are things in our history and that are currently going on that we should be proud of. Americans should be proud of a lot of things. But also to think that you are touched by the hand of God and you're the only country that is like this, then you're not understanding the value of every human being all around the world, and that every human being has value, and that there are exceptional people from all over the world. And what's really cool is if they're in the right environments and they get together and they work on things, it's amazing. So you know, there was an Ebola vaccine that was created during our big Ebola outbreak. We had a large Ebola outbreak in 2018, 19, and 20. And so it was pretty serious. And Ebola vaccine was created. And it was a collaboration between Congolese medical doctors, pharmaceutical companies, European doctors. It was this collaborative thing. And when groups of people come together that are all exceptional from all over the world, you can really make a difference in things. Yeah. I mean, an Ebola vaccine, that is a game changer here. You know, that's huge. Mm-hmm. That is huge here. Ebola is, you know, anybody who thought COVID was bad, you know, check out Ebola.
Right.
You know, it's a very, very scary virus, and you know, with very little treatment, high mortality rate, very easily transmissible. And so to get vaccines into this country and to actually distribute them was amazing. And the man who created that, who came up with the idea and realized how it was going to happen, he's Congolese. So there are exceptional people in everywhere. Country. Because just because you have an exceptional thing or an exceptional person doesn't give you blanket for all of it. You don't get the monopoly on being special. Right. There are special people all over the world, and it's my, you know, I have the honor of getting to work with a lot of them, and meet a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And you know, I've hung out with a Nobel Peace Prize winner that's from Congo, and so he's a really cool guy. He's built entire clinics here just to help women survive and recover from the brutal rapes that happen here. And so, you know, Dr. Mukwege, and he's an incredible guy. And, you know, to be able to spend time with him and hear him, huge women's advocate here. That is a Congolese man, mm-hmm. You know, so you can't say America has some special honor of being exceptional throughout the world. If we want to be exceptional, start treating people right.
Yeah.
You can't talk the talk and not walk the walk. It just doesn't work. It's a very ugly look.
Yeah. Don't, so, encourage people, educate people, forgive their student loans, give them health care, give some of these women health care. You have no idea what they could do.
All right, Tony wants to interrupt and maybe lighten up this mood for a minute, and this is Brent Trenholm, and he's talking about that butt kicker, Kansas City butt kicker.
Oh, butt kicker.
You know, I wish all these athletes would shut up about politics and just play sports. And that, unless they believe exactly what I believe, and then in that case, you people, and I do mean you people, need to stop trying to censor their freedom of speech. You know, Harrison Butt Kicker, he's just telling it like it is. And if you can't handle it, then that's too damn bad. Because he laid into Joe Brandon. I agree with Harrison. He said, Joe, you can't be Catholic and pro-choice. That's an oxymoron, which is not to be confused with a moron on oxy, which is what your son is, Joe. Hunter Biden's laptop. You're Catholic, Joe. You need to get your hypocrisy straight. I'm so pissed off at Joe Brandon for being pro-choice and not like the move him to a different parish pissed off. I'm talking like the real kind of pissed off. For real. And Butt Kicker, he's smart. He's got an engineering degree. I call it ED for short, but he's got ED, and he graduated MAGA Yelled Loudly, and he stood up there at that graduation, and he looked at all them women that they just got their BAs and their MDs and their PhDs, and he said, you know, that's all fine and good, ladies, but you need to get a real degree. Get you an MRS degree and find you a husband and find your vocation. And let me mansplain something to you women. If you don't know how to find your vocation, it's easy. All you got to do is find a man, marry him, and then he will tell you your vocation. And Catholic survey says, ding, 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 homemaker. That's your vocation. And that's a cushy job. It's easy. All you got to do is find a man that makes $3 million a year, and then you can spend the rest of your life making babies. Because us Catholics say, fill the collection plate, not the condom. Ladies, if you don't want to be a homemaker, that's fine. You're free to be whatever you want, as long as it's a stewardess, a waitress, a maid, or a nun. Because God forbid somebody like Harrison Butt Kicker has a heart attack and he's laying there clutching his chest and he says, help, I'm having a heart attack. Is there a doctor in the house? And the lady runs up and she says, I'm a doctor, I can help. And he's like, no, you should be at home cooking and cleaning and pushing out babies. Is there a male doctor in the house? And a man runs up and he says, I can help. But the guy's, he's got a rainbow shirt on, and Harrison's like, no, I see where this is going. Is there a straight white male doctor who believes exactly what I believe in the house? And it turns out there's not. And God forbid Harrison dies. And then his death is on your hands, ladies. Because all you wanted to do was go out and get a real job instead of stay at home 28 hours a day changing diapers and watching Bluey. Shame on you. And can I say how refreshing it is to see a real man on the Kansas City Chiefs? You know, because a real man, he shouldn't be out gallivanting all over the world in a private jet with his billionaire girlfriend while she shakes her turd cutter on stage. That's a sin. That's a goddamn sin. You know, not so much the dancing or the amassing great wealth while people literally starve, but shacking up with your girlfriend before you're married, that's a sin. Everybody's saying, oh, Harrison Butt Kicker, he seems pretty far right. Shouldn't he be boycotting the NFL instead of playing for it? That's pretty hypocritical of him. Well, he's not a hypocrite. He's just Catholic.
That's what I love about him. God. He's just, you think he's a right winger. Well, you think he's a right winger at first, because you're not quite sure at first, like what he's saying, like what's he doing, and then he's like, oh, he's got ED. He's like, he graduated from the MAGA Talk Louder instead of MAGA Loudy. And then, well, sometimes he's like, I raise my emotional support beer. And it says, he's got a koozie that says emotional support beer on it.
Engineering degree.
Yeah, he's got an engineering degree, so he calls it ED.
Yeah.
So that's why he's just making fun.
That was great.
Poking fun.
That was great.
Keep poking him.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I mean, I would love to have a wife at home. You know, that'd be great.
Yeah, someone to cook and clean and do my laundry.
What does Butt Kicker think about that?
I told Benny Loco on a couple shows ago, and I even told, I forget who it was, somebody in the chat. or somebody that called in. I don't know. I can't remember. But another lady, and I said, start recording the mundane shit that you do all day. And with your hair pulled up in a fucking ponytail that's on top of your head. You haven't taken a shower
yet. That was Mom's Rizzo.
Yeah, Mom's Rizzo. Okay, and then I was like, okay, because these are the real housewives. This is actually what we do. I, scrub the toilet, and I fucking do the dishes, and I fucking wash the floor, and I vacuum, and I'm dusting off shit, and I've got the cat hair everywhere, and oh my God.
Emptying litter boxes.
I'm not doing it with $4,000 shoes on in a fucking prom dress from the 80s. Like, seriously, what the fuck? The Real Housewives.
Well,
it really irritates me. And
in a mansion.
Yeah, in a mansion when you've got a nanny for your kids, you got a cook that cooks for you. Got a maid that does your laundry and cleans everything. Give me a fucking break.
Come on, you even have hair and makeup come in.
Yeah, you spend a fortune on hair and makeup. Oh God.
Well,
Real Housewives.
I can't talk too much because I do have a house manager, and there is somebody that does my laundry. But laundry is done in a bucket here by hand. And is put out on the line to dry. There are no machines because we don't have power. We don't have good enough power for a washing machine.
No.
You can buy them here, but I mean, I'd have to turn it on at like 2:00 in the morning. Like my power came on just a little while ago. It's now 2:00 in the morning here. So when I wanted to do laundry, I would have to get up at 2:00 in the morning and run downstairs and turn on the machine. So. Yeah. And I do have a house manager, and they do help a lot, but that's also because I work all the time, and I'm able to employ people here because of that. But they don't work every day, and the days they don't work, guess who's cleaning the house? Guess who's doing the dishes and emptying the litter boxes and taking care of things? I'm doing it myself, and I don't do it because I need to be. It's not because I want to be a good housewife. It's because I like my house. That's all.
I get stuff
and
done.
I have housemates that are men. And guess what? They clean their rooms and they take care of their stuff. And they do their dishes when they're here. You know why? Because that's what you do. That's what you do. Right. It's your mess. You clean.
Right. Now, if I can get my 13-year-old granddaughter to adhere to that.
You can't get a 13-year-old to do anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a losing battle until they're about 24.
Yeah.
Until it's forced on you, like literally forced. You got no other freaking choice.
She's trying to put me in the sleeper hold over here, guys. She's giving me that kitty slow blink thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
She's telling you she loves you.
I'm sorry. I've been looking over at YouTube and I haven't been paying attention to Black Dragon on Twitch. My roommate still has student loans. Some of it, I think, didn't get forgiven. The 80s when colleges there were loan sharks. That's why we've been barking at Biden to forgive student loans. Could have sued the college system for predatory loaning. LOL, it is the worst in our healthcare system. $500 for a wambulance. $1 million to have a baby. Maybe that is why the GOP wants babies, so they can give the hospitals and insurance millions of dollars. A lot of the GOP Congress are on medical boards and so is donors. Here's a fact: there's no school shootings in the Congo. Is that true?
I don't think. I mean, since I've been here, there's been no school shootings. But I would also say that in Nigeria, Boko Haram is very active, and they purposely go into schools and kidnap kids. So, it just depends on what you're dealing with. And the refugee camps that have been bombed, there's schools that have been put in there, and they've been bombed. So
it depends on what country you are in Africa.
The consequences of war exist here for schools, but the idea that somebody would purposely walk into a school just to kill children, that's not something that would generally happen here. That's way foreign. They might kidnap them.
So Black Dragon also asked, is there
some child soldiers?
Yeah,
but
is there a huge anti-vax push in the Congo? Is that true?
Yes and no. So the Ebola vaccine, everybody here was willing to take the Ebola vaccine. We were lined up for it, but it was developed by a Congolese. The Congolese had a hand in it. Now, when it came to the COVID vaccine, we were given the AstraZeneca vaccine that had been rejected by the U.S. So the U.S., there were problems with AstraZeneca. The U.S. had a shipment on the way, and they said, no, divert it to Congo. And so, yeah, there was a lot of resistance to it because of the fact that it had been rejected by the U.S. And then, what, you're going to send it to Africa? So yeah, there was some resistance to that. There is a bit of resistance when it comes to certain medications, certain vaccines, because there's been experimentation done here. And there's huge cases in Kenya where they were literally going into the slum. There's a really large slum outside of Nairobi, and they were using that slum as their guinea pigs, these pharmaceutical companies. And so, yeah, there's a hesitancy, and there's a lack of knowledge too. People here doctors don't explain your condition to you. They don't explain your medications to you. They just bark orders at you, and there's no true understanding of what is really going on. And so there is a hesitancy for people to take medications or get a vaccine that may not be from Congo or from they trust stuff coming out of India more than they do like coming out of the US and out of Europe, because those are the countries that experimented here and used the population as their controls and experiments. So yeah, but like I said, everybody was really eager to get the Ebola vaccine. It was created by a Congolese man, so they trusted him.
Yeah, Petrazi says that's fucked up, giving you guys the rejected vaccine. Yeah. And Agolf Twitler.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, in the fall, the new Biden student loan forgiveness program hits. If you make less than $120,000 per year, Biden will cancel your accrued interest of the loan, and interest is usually half the loan. Holy shit. That would hit his loan.
Yeah.
That would be so
that's gonna hit
freaking awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna hit really well for a lot of people.
Well, and I don't know. I don't know how they expect us to pay our student loans and have kids. Tony and I never made enough money to have a fucking kid. Even though we said a long time ago we really didn't want to have any. We'll think about it later, and later's too late. So
no regrets.
Yeah, none whatsoever. No,
you could buy a kid. You can buy a kid.
If I had money,
to buy a kid.
I still don't have money. So
right. Well, then borrow them. Just foster them. Borrow them.
Yeah. I vicariously through my friends' kids a little bit.
Right.
A lot of space.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what I tell people. I'm the best auntie in the world. But I like to send kids back home.
About no.
Oh my God, that would
You can go back
fucking
home now.
that would fucking totally be a game changer for so many people who
Yeah,
could
buddy.
never afford to even pay even trickle pay their student loans. You know, it's all gone into collections.
Minimum payment.
Your battery's getting low.
Yep.
Well, it's 2 a.m, hon. It's up to you if you want to go or not. I mean, you know, we'd be glad to stay on longer if you want to.
So,
It's up to you. Because it's 2 a.m. for you.
she's poking at stuff.
Oh, she's trying to get her audio back probably because her earbuds were in. Yeah. I can hear you, I think.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm trying to get the video back now.
Okay.
If it's there, and then it wasn't.
Hi, Kathleen. Yeah, I'm the favorite auntie. Just ask my nieces and nephews. There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were never in a
having
good
kids is
financial
not for
position to
everyone.
raise a family. You know, that's exactly how I felt. So I kind of knew what you were talking about, Black Dragon, and so yeah, I know you meant in Kenya, but Michelle's spot on. So again, you're getting a lot of people love you, honey. You know what I mean? And this has been oh shit.
I'm dropping stuff.
It's all right. It's all right.
Hold on, everybody.
You're gonna go for a ride.
Motherfucker piece of shit.
Gonna go for a ride there. No, you guys, if you want to call in and if you have any questions, nobody's called in this time. I'm kind of disappointed, guys.
Where's Spiking?
You know,
What the heck, guys?
I know. Where is
He's
Spy?
the one that requested this.
I know. 248-780-9775. That's 248-9 or 780-9775. My own dyslexia gets in my way, dude, like all the time. I catch myself all the time. So
Read it.
I know. So please try to call into the show if you have any questions at all for if you don't have questions for not Michelle, if you have questions for Benny or Ryan or whatever. Just say hi and say how much you are enjoying this because we want Michelle to come back. And I know it's awkward because we're going against Hal right now and a lot of our friends are Hal listeners. But
Sorry, Hal.
Sorry, Hal. You guys can go back and watch Hal anytime. This is a special pop-up. This doesn't happen every day. Oh, we got a call.
Yep.
Here she is. Here's
Thank
Spy.
you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We love you.
So I have a special request from Michelle for my birthday. I would like for you to show us all your gator call.
Your what?
Your gator call.
Your gator call.
Oh, man, I haven't done that in years.
Gators.
I know you haven't.
Go Gators.
Well, yeah, there's that. Gators. But no, alligators actually make a sound. And,
Yeah, they bark.
We used to go out in like the boats at night and you'd call over the gators. Then you could smack them on the head with a paddle and grab them. And then you put them in your friend's car. This is a very Florida thing. Because they'd be
Very
kind
much
of
a Florida
unconscious
thing.
long enough for you to grab them and put tape around their snout, put them in the
Yep.
boat, and then as a prank, you would, and so there's an actual sound that they make. I don't know how well you can hear it, but it's kind of like,
Yep.
I don't know, can you hear that?
A little bit.
Yep. It sounds
And
just
that's
like
kind of
if
the sound they make. Yeah.
they call
It
that.
reminds
they
me of
call
our
it
last
bark.
trip to Florida.
Yeah. That is a gator call. And
Yeah,
yes, we used to do very Florida things. They do make us different in Florida. now, unfortunately, Florida has turned into something that is not what I grew up with.
Yeah,
And
no.
it's gone crazy, and all kinds of people are moving there just for politics, just for Trump, and it's kind of scary to tell you the truth.
And it's
I mean, to be
bleeding
from Florida and to
into
be
the
scared
rest
of
of
Florida at
the
the same
states
time
around it.
What's that?
Uh-oh.
I said it's bleeding into the rest of the states around it, which affects me, and I don't like that. Keep your Florida to Florida.
Yeah, well, they figured out, I think a lot of people figured out they couldn't actually afford to live in Florida. So now they're like, ooh, could I go? Oh, I could go to Tennessee. I could go to Georgia. I could go to South Carolina. So yeah, they are. They're bleeding. They're bleeding their red into other areas that were already red enough. But I mean, how red do you need to get? But my concern comes when Florida already holds a lot of electoral points, which don't get me started on the electoral college, but it already holds enough electoral points. But if enough people really start flooding in there, they could gain electoral points even more than what they already have. And so that is something that I think people should pay attention to. They should pay attention to how many there are. 600 people per week moving to Florida, according to a family member of mine that's a state trooper in Florida.
How many are moving out per week?
I was going to say, I know a couple that are trying to move out.
Yeah, there are people moving out too, but not at the same rate.
Yeah. No, that it's less moving out that are moving in. So, anyway, I'm reminiscing over our over the last trip we took to Florida, where I upset your mom, but she still loves me to this day, and it's okay.
She does. She loves you and she likes you. So you've stuck
Exactly.
around long enough now that she's like, okay, she's all right, people.
Well, I love you all, and thank you again for coming on tonight. I'm so happy to sit here on my birthday and enjoy all three of you beautiful ladies having a wonderful time talking about wonderful topics that we all need to be discussing.
Well, and again, thanks,
brilliant.
Spy, because you inspired this whole thing and you made it happen.
Yep.
If it wasn't for you, we
You're
wouldn't
the
even know
orchestrator.
Support staff wins again.
Yes.
I love you guys. Now, somebody else call in. It's so easy.
Yeah, and don't be.
It's so
we're
easy
harmless.
to go.
I promise we won't bite.
I love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye, baby.
Yeah, where's that happy
It's so
birthday?
simple.
Happy birthday.
You see,
birthday.
I didn't mess up this time. I didn't use her real name. I did well.
Yep. We just call her Spy for short. We just call her Spy for short. Is
Super
like leave it
Spy.
there. And even when I talk to, that's the wrong one. That's happy anniversary, not happy birthday. I'm gonna have to bitch slap him in the back of the head from here. Like seriously.
Well, in French, your birthday is anniversary. So.
All right.
Anniversary.
Well, even when I talk to Spy, like offline, I still call her Spy because I'm like, I don't want to fuck up when we're online, and I'm just gonna keep calling you Spy.
That's what. I just got so excited the last one when I heard her voice.
I know. Because you guys have known each other for a long time, right? You guys went to school together.
Yeah, we were in our early 20s, and we're past that now. Way past that.
Yeah.
I think we can all safely say that.
Well, it's sweet to have, a lifelong friend and be so far apart, but still be so close.
Yeah, it's great. I have a few friends that are like that, all spread out, but there are people in life that you just know that no matter where you are, where they are, you gotta talk. You gotta keep in touch. I love the internet for that. Thank God for the internet. That makes it so much easier. So, I don't know how people did my kind of work before internet. I do not understand. Like, how did you do it? How did humanitarians do stuff in the 80s in Ethiopia? Remember We Are the World?
Yeah.
Remember that whole thing? Yeah. Ethiopia was packed with humanitarians delivering aid. How did they do it without internet? I don't understand. I'm so glad that I don't have to. So
It's amazing.
This week has been really hard without internet. I wouldn't leave my house.
Technology can be used for so many good things, and unfortunately be used for nefarious things.
Thing is, they used the telephone, but you had to sit there and wait for the call. You had to wait for the call before you could find out where the roadblocks were. Or you had to wait for the call to see if there was going to be, there's war fight, there's war over here, but somebody has to be there to call you to tell you that it's there. So, so everybody.
Or they have to go and they have to make it out to report.
Yeah.
I had to wait for Paul to call me.
Oh my God. That's Tony.
Holy.
And what is that supposed to mean?
That's what we did when we were young.
Yeah. When we were young, we sat by the phone until you were like, okay, we're going to meet in Paul's tree house at 4:20.
4:20.
Oh my God, it's 8:20 right now. It's 4:20 somewhere.
It's 4:20 somewhere.
4:20 somewhere.
Well, it's 2:20 here, so
yeah. If you want to go, honey, I understand. I know you. It's very late for you.
So, like in Qatar, maybe in Qatar it's 4:20. I think in Qatar. Go ahead and 4:20 it up.
It's 5:20 here in the high desert, but it's only an hour past 4:20, so I'm fashionably late.
It's 4:20 in Hawaii.
There you go. Is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
You're only
No, it's 2:20.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 2:20. Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out where. I think Qatar would probably be, a good Middle Eastern country to.
It'd be 4:20 a.m. there though. When it's 4:20 p.m. somewhere over the Pacific Ocean.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's 2:20 in the morning. Thank goodness today was a public holiday, so I didn't actually have to go to work today. I did work. I worked from home. Just a lot of reports and stuff. But I was like, oh, it's a perfect time for it because I'm going to be home all day anyways, and I get to sleep in on Saturday. So, I can do I can do a midnight show. Sure.
2 a.m. show?
Well, it's, I know it's 2 a.m. there, and as you were trying to switch over from your earbuds to go on, where you don't have earbuds, I was saying, I know it's late for you there, and if you want to, hang up, when we understand, and, just let us know how you feel. It's totally up to you. But, we want to do this more with you. And if Friday nights are good for you, then maybe we should try to do this like weekly or bi-weekly, or I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe bi-weekly.
Okay.
Because also Friday nights here, a lot of times we do dinner at the Italian restaurant. There is one Italian restaurant, and it's a real Italian restaurant. So, and so every couple of weeks we do that. So maybe bi-weekly I'll go with them, because also there is also a club here. So my other friends like to go to the club. I generally drop them off and come home.
Okay.
So, I may still even be able to pick up with you guys at, because it is midnight here. It's midnight. So, well, now it's 2, but when we started. So, but I'm probably going to jump off here soon. My phone is getting My spare battery is getting grumpy with the phone. My earbuds have crapped out, and my vape pen's battery is bad.
Okay, enough. Go to
I'm
bed.